The biggest mistakes with tracking your calories. Now, I see it time and time again that clients think they have to track their calories to lose weight. Do I think for most people, if you don't have accountability like a coach like myself, tracking is probably a good shout? Because the reason for that is it's so hard to be like objective with yourself. We all have human bias. We all have bias towards our goals, and we all have bias with food and our own habits. And it's really hard unless you're like super self-aware or you've tracked in the past to know what you're actually eating. So most people can't eat intuitively off the bat. Very few people, unless they've just grown up with a really good relationship with food and they've never sort of dieted or crash dieted or had an issue with food in the past, like most people can't intuitively eat because all of our like food is over processed, all of our food is like engineered to be addictive. Socially, like we all are so bad at like, you know, eating whilst watching TV or eating while doing other things. There's so many things that mean that we aren't, most of us aren't, myself probably included, aren't in tune with our hunger levels and our ability to eat intuitively. So if you want to lose weight, for a lot of people, again, unless you've got a coach who's giving you some accountability or some education or a meal plan, for example, you probably do need to track your calories. Now, number one, if you're going to work out your calories, I'm more than happy to help with that. Just drop me a comment below and I'll somehow do that for you. If not, there's a really good free calculator, which I'll put in the caption. It's like calculator.net, I believe. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. So you need to work it out, your baseline calories, where you need to be in deficit, which it will tell you based on your activity. And then you can roughly try and be there. Again, it's not the most accurate thing in the world, but it's a good free guide. But really importantly, tracking is not perfect. A lot of clients think just by tracking their calories, they will lose weight. Not always the case. Now, number one, we all have to remember that so much goes into weight, like so many different numbers and things go into weight. So you might track your calories and you might not see the scale change, but that doesn't mean that you're not losing fat. It might be that you're also slowly building muscle. It might be that you're holding some water from stress, from sleep, from hormones, from digestion, from all the things that so many different things go into our weight every single day. So that is really important to remember, but also tracking is not that accurate. Now, what I mean by that, human error is huge. It is huge. Now, even the most accurate people weighing out every single thing will not get it perfect. We all forget something. Like the other day, I forgot to log one of my coffees. Again, it doesn't seem like a big thing. I'm not in a deficit right now, so it's not really a big thing. I'm actually trying to make sure I'm eating enough calories, so that's fine. But if I was in a deficit, okay, that wouldn't necessarily have injured me out of a deficit that day, but over time, little things like that will. The common ones I see are drinks. A lot of people forget drinks have calories. Well, obviously, like water doesn't, but other drinks have calories. So anything with a calorie in it, you should be tracking. If you really want to get strict about it, even just like, you know, a sugar-free Celsius has 5 calories. Obviously, yes, that's not really anything, and like you could argue you don't, but like little things, those little things, if you have a few diet drinks a day that are all 5 calories, that can add up to 50 calories a day, and before you know it, over a week, that adds up. So, you know, little things, if you really want to be pedantic, I would log everything. And there's different ways of doing this, and I do think like not everyone needs to do that, but anyway. But yeah, that is a big one, is drinks, oils, sauces, spreads, huge. They are ones that people always forget, is like oils when they're cooking, that's a big one, and that can rack up the calories. Sauces, butters, spreads, all of those things do obviously have calories in. Now, what I would say, the lesser obvious one, and the one that has felt like, I've been an online coach for 9 years, so I'm comfortable having this conversation now, but I've always felt a bit awkward before, is human error. Most of us are biased, and most of us want to get as much food for our calories as we can. So if we go out to eat and we get a chicken burger and we open MyFitnessPal or whatever app we're using, you're not sponsored, but that is a good one if it's free and you're not working with me, then that's a good choice. And you'll open MyFitnessPal and there'll be loads of different chicken burgers on there. And most of us are going to pick the lowest calorie one. We're going to think, yeah, probably 600 calories. That looks about right. Let's go for that. Now, what you're not realising is that burger had a lot of cheese on it. They used a lot of oil. There was some chips on the side. It was actually a 1,200, 1,500, yeah, that's right, calorie meal. And before you know it, you're like 700-800 calories off what you should have been. So if you're really in a deficit and you're not sure, it makes the most sense to go with not the highest, but like the biggest one that you think is realistic. But even then, you're going to be a bit off. You do not know if you're eating out exactly what was used. If someone else makes a meal for you, you cannot account for how much oil they use. You don't know exactly which type of bread or which type of meat they use, whether it was a low-fat burger or a high-fat burger. You don't know. And this is the other one as well. Even if you do know everything, no single bit of food is going to be exact. What I mean by that is you could have 2 potatoes. One potato, for some reason, grew and had a bit more water in it, and actually, per amount of potato, there are slightly less calories in it, which I know sounds bonkers, but that's how food works. Like, you get 2 of the same burgers, and obviously it's only a tiny amount, but how much fat is in that bit of that meat will make a difference. So actually logging is never totally accurate. You cannot be totally accurate unless you've literally got a lab and you know exactly what's in everything and you can do all the maths and the science. Like, no one's going to be 100%. So that is really important. And also, and this is huge, and I believe it's much worse in America, I don't know about Canada. In the UK, it's not too bad. But food labels are allowed to be out. They don't have to be exact. They might put a few extra Skittles in one bag, or one of your sandwich that you bought from the shop might be off by, I think it's 5, I want to say it's 5%, I should have checked that, but I think it's 5% off in the UK that you're allowed to be off, which means some foods you're getting are actually less calories than it says on the label, and some foods you're getting are more calories than what it says on the label. I think it's higher. I want to again say it's 10%. I should have fact checked that. Don't call me up, because I am going off my memory, which is not the best at times. But I want to say about 10% in the US. It's quite big. So again, over time, those little bits of being off does make a difference. So the next time you say, I'm logging everything, my scale weight isn't changing, it is really important to be honest. Are you truly logging everything? If there was a few handfuls of your kids' chips, or a few bits of leftovers from a plate, or a few drinks throughout the week that you didn't log, or a few alcoholic drinks, whatever it was, that can add up and that can quite easily take you out of deficit. Number 2, even if you are logging everything, there might be some human error. It might be that you're logging your pasta raw, but actually it was a cooked weight, or it might be the other way around. It might also be that maybe just that week you, by accident or, not good luck, all of the foods you had were a little bit actually over the calories, what it said. That, the laws of thermodynamics don't lie. Almost no one / very few clients won't lose weight if they're actually in a calorie deficit. There are obviously metabolic things that go on and hormones and all those things. But most, and I do mean most, people, if they're actually in a deficit, will lose weight. So 9 times out of 10, if not 9.9 times out of 10, if you're not losing weight, it's because you're not in a deficit. And again, that could be human error. It could be some bad guesses. It could also be packaging and little things adding up throughout the week. But that is why tracking is not perfect. It is not a perfect tool. I could talk about the AI tracking all forever. I've used a few of the apps to test it myself, and I would say at best they're a good, okay guesstimate. They're probably not way off human guessing, because again, human guessing is pretty inaccurate, but they're definitely not perfect, and you should not trust what AI says. I logged, what was it? I went out for food and I logged it, and I think it said 500 calories. Well, the menu told me it was a 1,500 calorie meal. So I know that one of them was off. And again, I looked at it and probably would have put it around 1,200. So I wouldn't have even guessed 1,500, but I definitely wouldn't have guessed 500. The AI tracking apps, or the ones that take photos and kind of guess your food, can't see sauces, can't see spreads. If it's a lasagna, they can't tell what's in that lasagna, they just see the top of the lasagna. They can't tell how wide a dish is, how big a dish is. So all those factors go into it. So take them with a big pinch of salt. But yeah, if you aren't already, make sure to subscribe. I drop weekly videos twice a week to give you tips, tricks, advice to get you feeling incredible in your skin and confident forever. And if you have any questions, as always, drop them in the comments below and I will get back to you.